All right, welcome everybody for joining us. This is your host Abhi Kaushik, and we have a phenomenal speaker for you today, and that is none other than Mr. Money, Michael Huggins. Now, before getting started with Renatus, Michael was actually working two consecutive low-wage jobs, one at Jiffy Lube, Sears Auto Centered. He was covered in oil, and really felt like he was worked like a mule. And around this time, this was about, 8.5 years ago, he had actually gotten invited down to a Renatus event, and he was able to see value in it right away. The velocity banking, the tax savings, the employee mindset versus the wealthy mindset. But the problem was he just didn't have the money to get started. Now, a lot of people, when they come to an obstacle like that, they'll just quit right away. But the money issue didn't really stop him because he got creative. He asked his girlfriend at the time, he asked his girlfriend's mother for money to borrow, and even though she initially said no, he applied the principles that we have here at Renatus Marketing of continuous follow-up, showing value in the service, and he was able to get her to finally agree. After plugging in to the Renatus system, he started doing deals, he started growing his team, and we fast forward to today. Michael is a 7-figure income earner, and he actually just won the #1 income earner award for the second year in a row. Michael is a PAC member, grown his team across the nation, and we are just so fortunate to have him as our trainer here today. So without further delay, I'd like to bring on the line Mr. Michael Huggins. Michael, how are you today? Michael, if you're on mute, we're not able to hear you.
Hey, Abhi.
Go ahead.
We're also having a velocity banking training class tomorrow night in Plain City. So anybody about a velocity banking game wants to know how to use it, we'll be hosting a party, and we'll bring in the improved worksheets for people to use with the game.
Okay, all right, awesome. We actually, I just got thanks for that, Pete. I actually just got a message from Michael saying that he's not going to be able to make it on the call today. So I just kind of want to open up the forum to the audience here to kind of see what were the takeaways that people were able to get from our national conference this past weekend. So if anyone would like to come on the line and share what was their biggest aha moment that they got from this national conference, that would be awesome. The more these team calls are supposed to be interactive to get people to share their experiences. So if anyone would like to come on the line, please do so.
Abhi, this is Wanda.
Hey, Wanda, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. I just want to kind of give a shout out to Bob Snyder and the company and everything, because 2 years ago, actually it was April 4th, that was the very first meeting that we initiated with Mitch, Virgil, the Blacks, Laura and Ryan, and Marks and his wife and I, and we planned the Spanish. And we started our Spanish presentations in Laura's property, and then from there, this whole movement of Spanish-speaking Latin community began, and now is the reality. In July 1st, we can go nationwide. So that's a very, very, very exciting moment for the Latin community and for any other languages, because now things are going to be translated into other languages in Helios, and the education can be, shared with bilingual people in multiple languages. So I'm very, very excited for that. And if kind of starting to contact some people in the nationwide community just to see if they're going to host meetings, so to create a cutting ribbon, simultaneous cutting ribbon event on July 1st. So if you are in this call and you're planning to create or begin to host a Spanish meeting across the country, contact me, 801-879-7340.
All right, awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Wanda. So make sure you guys are getting in touch with Wanda if you would like to pursue that opportunity.
Yeah, it's going to be a simultaneous cutting ribbon event that we can transmit all over the nation simultaneously and cut the ribbon.
Hey.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Wanda. All right, who else would like to share their big takeaway from this past conference? What did people like best? What did they finally understand? And what are you going to do, over the next month, over the next 60 days that you are going to start implementing, right away in your business?
Hello?
Make sure you're coming off of mute.
Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we are able to hear you.
Thank you. It's my first time. Hi, Michael. My name is Mari Centeno Leon. How are you?
Hey, this is Abhi. And so
sorry.
just state
Abhi,
your name and which chapter, which Renata's chapter you're from.
Yeah, my name is Mari Centeno Leon, and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And this is this was my first one, my first national, and I just fall in love, of course, and I really gonna take action. I just learned so much about marketing and how just step and taking action. So I was in love. So, and like Wanda says, like it's a beautiful opportunity for the Spanish community. So yeah, I'm gonna take action, and I'm gonna be very, very active in all that areas. So I'm very glad to be there and have of the opportunity and be exposed to what it is, like all the Renatos community together. And yeah, just want to make that comment. I'm very grateful. So thank you.
All right, awesome. So getting the energy from the people that you were able to surround yourself with, and especially in the Spanish community. So I'm happy that you were able to get some value from that.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, awesome. So who else would like to share their experience? What are you going to be doing over the next 30 days that you what are you going to implement? What did you learn, and what are you going to implement right away over the next 30 days?
Abhi?
Go ahead.
I was able to work with the team, behind the scenes, and I was grateful for the opportunity to be able to serve and watch the lit team, the PAC team, all working together to make the event run smoothly and work well. And what I'm going to share is more service to my community and helping more with volunteering. We need volunteers to run the meeting, especially Thursday night. And if anybody knows anybody wants to volunteer, we really need all the help we can get.
All right, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Pete. And I know Pete, one thing I like about Pete is consistently showing up at the events as a volunteer. He's always there behind the scenes helping out. And I agree, after joining the volunteer team, you get incredible opportunities to really interact with the leadership and have an opportunity to serve the community, because what I found is there's quite a bit of joy that comes along with serving others, and you are able to grow your business by the network and connections you're able to make through that as well. So thanks for sharing that, Pete. All right, who else would like to come on the line?
This is Muriel from Spokane, Washington.
Hey, Muriel.
Okay, good. So you do hear me. It's kind of odd here. I don't normally jump in and just talk, but I was at the in Sandy, Utah as well, and it was phenomenal. The training, the reinforcement of who we are as a community, as a nation, the reinforcement of who we are as individuals who are passionate about our community and our in the world around us, and how we can make an impact by telling people what they need to know by asking questions. So it's really kind of it's hard for me because I'm a teller. I like to tell people what to do. Doesn't always win. I mean, you don't win that way. You really don't. It's learning how to ask the right questions to the right people at the right time to build your business. It was pretty phenomenal. And the okay, I had something. The very simple thing of sticking with the basics of, see the people, tell the story, build for events, and follow up. Those are so key, and so, as Michael Huggins says, easy. It's just easy. But taking action and getting away from, one of the things that Michael said was there are three things that hold us back: fear, I'll forget the second one, but laziness being the last one. And I'm going, okay, so he called us on our stuff, said, come on, let's get going, let's do this. So anyway, it was just a joy to be there, and very inspiring, and they keep saying, it's a place where it goes from your head to your heart. And I would say this: it goes from your head to your heart without hype. So that is so important, because sometimes you can go to events and it's like, rah, 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 yay, we're all going to get going and this is what we're going to do. But there were such practical application action steps to take, from Woody Woodward to Ron Williams to all the PAC team members, to Bob Snyder, of course. Obviously, he's got all the keys, So just pay attention to your leaders, and like Pete said, who I don't know, be in that position of coming alongside the leadership and helping build the community that you're in. So awesome stuff. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, it makes me a believer for sure. So thanks for letting me spout off.
All right, that was awesome. So just some things that I got from Muriel was making an impact, asking the right questions. Really, when you come to an event like that, the energy that you're able to surround yourself with, the connections, the environment really brings the business from your head to your heart. And I also like how you said it's without the hype, because there are practical, actionable steps that are shared with you from these different speakers that were there. So thank you for sharing that. All right, who else would like to come on the line, share their experience from nationals and what the takeaways that they had?
Hey, Abhi, this is Hira from Jersey. Can you hear me?
Hey, Hira, I can hear you loud and clear.
Cool, thank you. I had a takeaway that I kind of had an epiphany over with the sidebar conversations, aside from the presentations on stage. So I guess, since we're all of the entrepreneurial mindset, we're constantly into our own growth and our business growth and development as well. So as I was speaking to some of the other community members from across the country, I found something in common that, no matter how much somebody was being recognized, or how great it looked like they had a year, everybody was constantly looking to improve, and I find that maybe that's something with all of us, that maybe we're not necessarily content, and it's a good thing. But also a key thing is to go along with some of the things that Muriel was saying there, the three key things that hold us back being fear, ignorance, and laziness. The fear and the ignorance sometimes come into play for myself, where I feel like I don't know enough, or there's still something to work on before taking more aggressive action. But to me, that was my biggest takeaway, is to just take action, continue to work on yourself, continue to develop, and use that to grow the business, not necessarily use it as a hindrance to avoid taking more action. And then another example I had of that, it was on Thursday night for the cash recovery party. As we were walking out, I bumped into Michael, and he asked me, "Do you have guests for tonight?" And first thing I said was, "Well, from Jersey, it's hard enough to get the IMAs to come out. It's even harder to get a guest to come out." And Michael being Michael, he said, "Well, there's still time," right? So we didn't get somebody to commit to that night, but the next day we were out, and we had lunch at the Olive Garden. And speaking to our server, we ended up getting the server's information. She was telling us a little bit about herself and her boyfriend, and we told her what we were doing in town, and she was interested. So we did end up generating some interest while we were there. So it kind of created a mindset shift with what Michael said the night before, for us to still continue to spread the message, even though we may not be necessarily in our local community. But there's a greater opportunity being around the national community all in one place as well. So those are some of the key takeaways that I had.
Okay, yeah, that was awesome. And I also know, kind of going along with what you said, that one of the principles that Michael talks about is this idea of top of the mind awareness, which is TOMA, TOMA. And to bring it back to what you were saying, if you are able to kind of wherever you go, have the idea that, hey, I'm going out and trying to change people's lives, no matter where I am, even if it's in the middle of the national conference, like with the example you were giving, where you went to Olive Garden, you talked to the server about this opportunity. It'll only happen if it's at the top of your mind. If you're actually, wherever you go out, you have it in your head that, hey, I'm going to go out and try to change people's lives, and just always leave that switch on in your head. So yeah, thanks so much, Hira, for sharing that. That was really helpful for me, and I hope it was helpful for everyone as well. Who else would like to come on the line and share their experience from nationals and kind of some takeaways that they were able to get from that?
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is Gerardo Reyes from Vegas, Nevada.
Hey, Gerardo.
And thanks for having me here, and I love it. We got many things. Last year on Nationals, there was only my wife and I. And this year, there were my wife and I and 24 more people at the Nationals. And from different places of the country. I just wanted to let you know that I've been dreaming with this July 1st. I've been dreaming, and I had a talk with Bob Snyder back in April of last year, and we just cannot sleep on the Spanish version, because today we're going to go out there, my wife and I, and look for offices, and I want to invite everyone to come and join our first meeting on July the 1st, whatever that day is. We're going to open up our office before time and start presenting in Spanish, and everyone is welcome to attend. And I assure you, anyone that comes in is going to join. Anyone that comes in is going to join. And it's not because of the logic or this or that. It's because of the passion. We're changing people's lives in a huge scale. So please, you're more than welcome to call me. And I'm excited. I'm excited for Saturday. Saturday was a huge training. I've been doing MLM for many years, and Saturday for me was the best. For me was the best. And let me tell you, if you are right here on the line and you do not come on stage next year, you haven't got it. You haven't got it. I assure you that I will be on the stage, and not because of my ego, it's because of my passion. Because when you have a dream, the facts don't count. If you have economical problems, that's great. That's why you need to do the business. If you don't have economical problems, that's great. That's why you need to do the business, to show the rest of the world how they can be free in the best country. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Wow, Gerardo, that was incredibly powerful. And I think the passion really came out in your voice, even as you were telling the benefits of having passion. So thanks for sharing that. And I definitely think that I hope you do. I hope you are the one who's on stage next year. And thanks for sharing that.
Thank you,
All right,
buddy.
who'd like to come on the line next?
Abhi, this is Mike. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
First, wow, that was beautiful, Eduardo. Thank you. And yeah, I'd like to make the point of just leadership in general. That's a big thing. A big takeaway that I brought home from the conference is we are all our own leaders, and all the leadership that we have in Renatus, that's exactly what they're doing. They're being leaders for themselves in front of us by example. And how did they get there? With incredible followership skills. So just, that's really what I'm taking from the conference. Just those two traits, they go hand in hand. And, just like we see Michael, how he first started, he wasn't, he had to get leadership examples from others and follow those examples, which simply were seeing other people lead themselves with their daily actions. So, it's like these calls. We get on these calls every week. This is a part of our own leading ourselves training. So the conference just really drives that home on a scale of magnitude that's just beyond our day-to-day, doing our work locally. So this is a big thing that we're a part of, y'all. It really is inspiring, and I'm thankful to be around all incredible leaders and followers.
All right.
I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing that. And yeah, I completely agree with that. To be able to be a leader, you have to be able to follow first. And it looks like a lot of the people who are on at the high levels of leadership here at Renatus, everybody has to learn from somewhere, and being coachable, having the ability to absorb information from a leader, you have to be able to follow. You have to be someone who's good at following first. So thanks for sharing that. I thought that was very helpful for me, and I hope it was helpful for everyone is here as well. All right, is there anyone else that would like to come on the line, share their big takeaway they got from the national conference? And it could be anything. You don't have to come on here and just mention some type of incredibly valuable insight or anything like that. We just want to hear what was your takeaway. What did you get out of the conference? Because these are things that can inspire other people. Maybe something that you took away is something someone might have forgotten that was at the national conference, or maybe they were in the bathroom, maybe they're outside. So if you can share, what was your biggest takeaway that you got from this conference, I think it would be very helpful for everyone who's on this line here today.
This is Muriel again. I just thought of something. I walked across stage because of a 5-star, and Bob Tierney said something to me, and he said, respect the 5-star. And I wasn't sure what he meant by that. I thought, well, respect the guy who, my leader, I get that. But what he meant was respect who you are as a 5-star and continue to make it happen. So don't disregard the advances in your career. So just another thought.
Yeah, don't disregard the advances in your career. If you've made it to that 5-star level, take a moment to, I guess, appreciate that you were able to do that, and understand that there are people who are looking up to you, and every single success along the way, make sure you are celebrating that. Make sure you are understanding the value of that, because people are watching you and they're looking up to you. So thanks, Muriel, for sharing that. All right, who else do we have?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Abhi. This is Michelle. How are you?
Hey, Michelle, I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to say what I took away from all the speakers is discipline. And I think that's the hardest for anybody is to have self-discipline. Because it's so easy to discipline others, but ourself is the hardest. And, you know, nationals always get you hyped up, get you going. And those leaders that are up there, after so many months, the struggle starts coming in, but they fight through that and they keep putting that discipline in their, in play. And I think that's what's hard because when things start failing and things start not working out, I think a lot of us kind of just slack off and saying, well, you know, I can't do it. You know, it's not working. And those guys just keep pushing through all those obstacles. And that's why they became to be up there as leaders. That's all I had to say.
Thanks for sharing that. I think that's a very valuable insight. And I like how Michael Huggins always says, discipline is the beginning of freedom. You know, a lot of times, you know, that is really the hardest part, having the discipline to, you know, get up at you know, the same time every morning, or, you know, schedule out, you know, your few hours of phone calls that you're going to be able to do. And I remember during Michael's presentation, he said, if there's one thing that I can tell you, I want you to take away from this national conference and from my speech, it's that, you know, don't neglect to do the easy things you can do every single day, because, you know, those are really those money-making activities, those easy things that you can be doing every day. That's what, if you're doing that consistently, and having the perseverance to go through that, then, you know, Michael says that is what is, that's what leads to, you know, the incredible successes, the increase in earnings. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that, Michelle. I thought that was very helpful for me, and I hope it was helpful for all of us here on this call as well.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. All right, you know, we still, you know, we have about 90 participants on the line here, so we've only had maybe about, you know, 7 people come on and share their takeaway. So there's still a lot more of you out there. So, you know, don't feel pressured to, you know, say some type of, I don't know, like, life-changing thing, but just talk to us a little bit about what spoke to you, right? Because what spoke to you might have spoken to other people who are here on this call today as well. So what really spoke to you at this national conference?
Hi, this is Jennifer from Spokane, Washington. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, Jennifer from Spokane, Washington.
Hey, so I just was sitting here listening, and my husband and I had, you know, we walked away from there, and I keep thinking about what impact this conference had on us. It was our first nationals. We just joined the community about 2 months ago, and we really loved I believe it was Michael that said it, that there's still room at the top, right? Not because there's so many people there, and so many people get discouraged. Like, I want to be there with them. I mean, it was a huge inspiration for us. We want to be on the top with everybody else, right? And it was just so encouraging, the community and the leaders, that, hey, there's still room right here with us. Come on, come follow us. That was so encouraging. And so we just thank everybody for their leadership and their inspiration that they gave us.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I remember during the awards ceremony, you know, Vanessa Huggins, she said that, you know, there's still a lot of room at the top, and, you know, all you need to do really is just, if you want to be here up on stage, you know, with the rest of the PAC team, or the, the top income earners, then, just get in line, just follow right behind us. And I thought that was incredibly powerful. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Okay. It looks like someone else came off of mute. So please go ahead and share your insights with all of us here today.
Hey there, Abhi. It's Jess Mickelson.
Hey, Jess. How are you doing today?
I am doing excellent. And I just want to give a big shout out for the Renatus community, okay? We are in an amazing, awesome community. There are people who can help us with virtually anything. I had some amazing conversations with people, and some specific people who kind of reached out to me and gave me some coaching and training on a personal level. I talked to Rick Steiner, and he gave me some really key input. He helped me to listen better when I'm talking to people, and to, instead of just going off of whatever's in my head, to completely cue off of what they're saying and to dive into whatever their message is, and to build a closer connection to them, and to, by doing that, open up the door for a whole lot better possibilities of them buying a combo. That was amazing. I talked to another one was when I talked to Jeremy Farrell from Atlanta. He helped me, and he has a system of doing things similar to what I was kind of on the same thread, that what do I do up front that makes a difference? Well, he has a point system for how he gets people to come into a conversation, and he has things like having humor with them and asking them questions and being interested in them and stuff, and he has to get about 5 points before he's willing to talk to him about Renatus. So anyway, these things are big, they're huge for me, and just I want to say how much I appreciate the community, and everybody makes a difference.
All right, that was awesome. Learn to listen to others and really key in on what they're saying, so that we are able to ask the right questions that are specifically applicable to them and make them feel important. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was insightful. I actually that was one of the big takeaways that I got at the conference there as well. So,
yes, but especially I just want to say thanks to Jeremy and to Rick. Both of them just really made a difference for me.
hey.
Hello, this is Skylar. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, Renatus Nation. Good morning. So I wanted to kind of echo that sort of 5-star component that was mentioned about Bob Tierney, and also from Christian George, of our 5-star service and what we're doing here. And for me, I was a former waiter and server, and I think that, I got up into fine dine world, and I think there's, when we think of a marketer, we think of a server, sometimes we put it down on a lower level of work. And, if we can change our mindset to becoming a prestigious ambassador for this company, not just having a hobby pay us like a hobby or business pay us like a business, but $1 million business pay us like $1 million business. And to do that is switching it to that 5-star service level where we're ambassadors. An ambassador for a country is an extremely, extremely prestigious position. And if we can all start assuming that mindset of how special it is that we have this opportunity to share with others, I think it can transform a lot of our businesses and a lot of our mindset around the business. So I just wanted to share that. And thank you for listening.
Awesome. So be an ambassador, just like, from one country to another, you're representing that country. And here at Renatus, we are representing the Renatus opportunity. And so I like that, being able to change your mindset from just any other IMA to actually a brand ambassador for the Renatus brand. So thanks for sharing that. All right, who else do we got here today? We still have about 15 minutes left on the call. So, if you did have some kind of big takeaway you got from this national conference, please do come on the line and share it with other people here.
Good morning, Abhi. Ron Heyer here. How are you?
Hey, Ron. Great to hear from you.
Thank you. Hey, you know what I realized as I sat there was the great relationships that have developed for me and my wife in the 3 years we've been in Renatus. We knew people from coast to coast in the islands of the sea, friends that we love as dearly as we love our own family. And they just kept coming in the door and coming in the door. And I didn't get to talk to all of them. Unfortunately, I'd messed up my back lifting some cement when I knew better. And so part of the time I was very uncomfortable, but the joy that was in my heart just from being with everybody was so rewarding. And I appreciate everyone that was there. I appreciate the comments and the conversations that we had, during the breaks and whatnot. It was just exciting to see how many people, how many friends I had that I didn't have before. And then as I pondered about that, I thought about all the people I've met because of the 3-foot rule that I didn't know before. And I felt just overwhelmed with the richness of relationships that this has brought me. And it's not real estate, not one drop of it. It is just purely the relationships just had me overwhelmed. And I just appreciate everyone that was there, everyone that has been part of my life for the last 3 years, and for the richness you bring to me. I just want to say thanks.
Hey, Ron. That was incredibly powerful. And, I agree 100%. In fact, we talk a lot here at Renatus about the 5 currencies. And one of the big, most valuable currencies is relationship capital. And having that opportunity to meet with people from around the country and not just network, but also build bonds, build connections, and build that camaraderie is, I agree, that's incredibly important to have that, because, it's there are friends and family that are here at this organization. And the more we kind of see them as friends and family and not just, business partners, I think that'll allow us to build that trust and really kind of exponentially grow our businesses. So thanks for sharing that, Ron.
You betcha.
All right. Who else do we have here today? We have plenty of people on the call, so please someone come on the line.
Hey, Abhi, this is Dan Conley. How are you?
Hey, Dan, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. One of the most impactful things for me was Michael's training the other day on this and that. Stopping blaming external things for our progress and our success, and look more on the inside. What do we need to do as people to grow and to learn, and what is it we need to do, as opposed to blaming anything and everyone around us.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Michael's training on this versus that. And, for those of you who weren't there at the national conference or missed this training, basically what he was talking about was this idea that there are these external circumstances that are going on when we're trying to build our businesses. And rather than trying to, put blame on those external circumstances, like, maybe somebody says, hey, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have this. I don't have that. It's not so much about what those external circumstances are. It's about how you respond to them. So in this business, what he was talking about was, taking personal responsibility for building your business. So, what is that extra value you can add, that you can go out of your way to solve somebody else's problem, because that's what we get paid for here at Renatus, by solving other people's problems. So it starts with taking responsibility. And the this versus that, what he was saying was that he was saying this, meaning he was pointing to himself, saying that it's me, it's my responsibility to build this business. It's my responsibility to build discipline in my life. It's not that. It's not that oh, like my boss isn't, allowing me to take off of work. That's talking about that. That's an external circumstance. He's saying, what are you doing about that? What are you doing about that? And that's the this he was pointing to himself. So I hope that made sense for people who missed that training. You really had to be there to understand the power of that. But I hope that was at least helpful to get an idea. So who else would like to come on the line and share their story?
Hey, good morning. This is Gil out in Spokane. Geez, there was so much in that conference that was awesome. And that this or that was really, really eye-opening and really made you take time to consider yourself and all of this. But I think the biggest impact for me was the openness of everybody there, the kindness, the motivation from everybody there. Like my wife had mentioned, it really did make you feel like you could be part of this company, and not really the company, like the family. And so I just wanted to thank all the leaders there, all the people there. I never got so many smiles from people I didn't know. So we're very motivated to go out there and hit the streets and and try to make something of this. We've seen it's possible. So thank you. It was amazing. We're glad to be a part of this community.
All right, awesome. Thank you for coming on the line and sharing that, and being open yourself, because that's really what makes the difference. And I think this idea that you're talking about, openness and kindness that you felt you exhibiting at this national conference, I think a lot of that is the culture that Bob Snyder has built at this company to allow people to be that way. And I've been to some other real estate conferences. It's just not the same culture. It's much more kind of all about business, and not really as much about building those more deep, intimate bonds. So yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for sharing that. Who else would like to come on the line and share their story, share their takeaways from this national conference?
Hello, this is John and Lisa Turpin from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hey, John and Lisa.
Hi, how you doing today? We're so glad that we're able to get on this call this morning. We're actually traveling back to Phoenix, and we're just fired up, and we're so excited about what we saw this weekend, and just everyone sharing today. It's really exciting on the aspects of the takeaways, from excuse-itis to, just knowing that one saying that as I was listening to everybody on the phone, if we just take it inch by inch, it's a cinch, but yard by yard, it's hard. And in our life, we decided that every day we're just going to be doing one more element to building the business. And it was just awesome to see the leadership and the love that was in the air. I mean, Ron Williams said that we're helping people. And when we put that word in it, we can love on them all we want. And they're just going to, we grow the business on that aspect. So we're really fired up about what we saw, and just my brain went into an explosion. So we're really excited. You guys say anything?
It was just a great time. It was our first time there, and we're so thankful that we got to be there, and we're just moving forward and excited for the great future that God has for us.
We're excited about being part of the family. So everyone have a great day, and just go contact one more person, and just run those houses, and just make it happen. We're excited for everybody in the business. Thanks for letting us share.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And, I'm incredibly grateful to have you two here, 2 additional members to our community. And I like how you brought up the inch by inch improvement. I've actually heard a quote that says, step by step you get ahead, but not necessarily in fast spurts. So being able to have that long-term goal, like long-term vision in mind, and not just expect short-term temporary results, and really going after building your business over the long term. I thought that was helpful as well. So thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
who else do we got here on the line today that'd like to share their takeaway?
This is Jeremy from the. I'm actually in Alabama right now, but we're based out of Atlanta.
Hello, Jeremy.
And can you hear me? Okay.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
So there are a couple things. There's the brilliant conversations that I got a chance to have with, like reconnecting with Skylar and Sarah and Jess out of Denver. Those are, those conversations. We had a conversation towards the end of the conference that it was just about getting reconnected to the growth that we've experienced in each other. And, I got a chance to hang out with Jess Mickelson. I got a chance to have, be welcomed into his home and be, treated like family. And we stayed with him over the course of the week, and he picked us up at the airport, took us back to the airport. Just the amazing generosity of people that we've never met, except for maybe over a webinar. And I was sitting here, and I'm looking at everybody who's got family stuff going on, everybody who has life happening, the ups, the downs, the brilliant moments, the opportunities that are right in reach, and how one conversation can make a huge difference. I'm sitting there, and I've got a situation where I had a breakdown in Atlanta, and I couldn't get Wi-Fi access, and there was a family member, Rashid, was standing right there, and he and I talked maybe twice, just exchanging, hi, how you doing kind of stuff. And I said, hey man, do you by any chance have a Wi-Fi hotspot that I could use? He's like, yeah man, here you go. It gave me the ability to take care of a situation on the other side of the country with somebody who was just willing to say yes, because we were in an environment where partnership, where engagement, where support is the opportunity, not a burden. It's an opportunity to be of service, where servant leadership and being in a position to care at a higher level, to not just be ready to serve, but to be prepared at a new level, is where people are looking to be at. There's so many things, you asked for like one thing, and I'm sitting over here going, oh man, there's these amazing conversations that I had with one person or another that I may have never met, like Rick Steiner at the awards banquet. He and I are talking for a few minutes. I tell him something I'm doing. He's like, dude, let me see how I can help you. And this culture of encouragement, the culture of empowerment, and a culture of celebration, where we're celebrating each other's successes, we're celebrating each other's victories, we're celebrating each other's triumphs. And to be in a culture like that, and there's one other thing is I want to make sure to share this, because we're on the flight back. Karen is my business partner and my girlfriend, and we're flying back across the country, and we're going over our notes. And we look at it and say, okay, well, what would it take to get on the pack? Okay, that's going to be about a 2-year conversation. So next year we want to show up at nationals and be qualified to be on the pit team. And then the following year to be on the pack. Okay, how would we backtrack that? Just like creating the blueprints of a building, if we know what the end result is, we now have the capacity to build the blueprint and to get all the pieces in place, and to learn how to, with this new system of Helios and the systems of the webinars and our structures, to be able to see what is going to fulfill on that, and to begin with the end in mind, and really just be having the opportunity to not just be there, but to take the notes and use the notes that we had to get re-energized and to share those with other people. I could go on probably for another 15, 20 minutes easy, but I think for anybody who was there, one of the biggest things that I left with the opportunity for was not just the ability to go over my notes, but the ability to share my notes with others, to reconnect myself, and also to keep expanding what's possible with others. And I really appreciate every single person on this call who gets up, who does whatever you need to do to be here. Everybody who goes to a meeting, everybody who made it out to nationals. And I think it's never going to be this small again. And for every single person here, you contribute so much to every single one of us, and I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm complete.
Right. Awesome. That was incredible. That was, wow. There was so much in there. Some key takeaways I got from what you said was that, you felt like, you were really treated like family while you were here at this conference. And the vibe you got from people is, let me see how I can help you. And, that culture of people trying to add value to you without you even having to ask, and, celebrating each other's successes. And I also like how you said beginning with the end in mind, and you felt like, you were kind of shown that long-term vision, and you were starting today with the goal of trying to achieve that. We have about a minute left here on the morning call. I'm just going through this chat box to see if there's
Good morning.
anything that I missed on here. Let's see. Hira says fear, ignorance, laziness. Michael White says quitters never win and winners never quit. Lily Puerta says commit to the process. Sarah Hernandez says Renatus, going from my head to my heart. It's all about the people. So thankful for this amazing opportunity and for the community. Live life in gratitude, in a gratitude attitude. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that, Sandra. Amaris agrees. So, that's all the time we have on this morning call. But thank you so much, everyone, for sharing that. That was incredibly powerful. And, I really felt like, this was a mastermind. We really got ideas from different people around the country. And Dan Conley says Tim Ballard was amazing. So thank you all so much for being on this morning call. We'll see you again here tomorrow, at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock. And hope everyone has a phenomenal day. Go out and crush it. Bye, everyone.